Today on the channel, we're going to be taking a look at this no name, no brand, arcade stick, all-in-one emulation console. Let's go ahead and open the box and see what we have inside. So this thing touts over 3,000 games built in on the micro SD card, and it also doubles as an arcade stick. So it's kind of an all-in-one solution for those people out there that are not computer literate and don't want to mess with Raspberry Pis or things like that. So right here we have our USB-C charging cable. Also has a very lengthy HDMI cable, which is quite impressive. Let's see, it doesn't say how long it is, but it looks like 10 feet if I just had to guess. And then we have the system itself protected and wrapped here. Let's get the box out of here. And as you can see, it has a very Famicom-esque design aesthetic. The body itself is all solid plastic, but we do have some like brushed metal top here. Got some nice texture to it. Clicky buttons. Joystick feels like it has a square restrictor gate in there. At the top of the joystick, you got your select button, your start button, your return, aka your back button, your volume down, and your volume up. Components, they're not gonna blow you away, but they're also not the worst quality I've ever felt. And if you really wanted to change some things, you could absolutely just pop open the bottom here, swap out some components, although you're going to be limited on space. You're not going to get some like HAP competition buttons in here, I don't think, just due to the height requirements on that. On the back of the device, we have our HDMI out. We have two USB ports, so you can plug in additional controllers. If you don't want to use the built-in joystick as a controller, you can use your own game pads by plugging them into this USB section here. You get your audio out, so your 3.5mm audio here. Your micro SD card, you can add your own ROMs on here, so you pop out that SD card, put it in your computer, load your own ROM files, put it back in there, and you're good to go. Your USB-C charging, and then your power on and off button. The joystick itself measures about 11.5 inches wide. It's about 6 inches deep, and it is almost 2 inches tall. Maybe weighs 3-4 pounds tops, so I'm just guessing there. This is my human hand scale, but overall, this is not something you really want in your lap. This would be something you'd want on a countertop or a table as you're playing the games. And speaking of games, let's go ahead and turn this bad boy on and see what the user interface and the emulation looks like. But before we do that, we got to give a special shout out to today's video sponsor, Skillshare, for allowing me to make videos like this for you.
Shout out to Skillshare for sponsoring this video and all the work they do helping creators on this platform. Haven't heard of Skillshare? Well, let me educate you. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creators. You can explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity. It's curated specifically for learning, meaning there are no ads and they're always rolling out new classes for you to discover, so you can stay focused and follow along with ease. Skillshare is extremely affordable with the annual subscription, and I just recently finished watching YouTube Success, Script, Shoot, and Edit with MKBHD. And it's always been fascinating to me personally to see the creative process of others, and this class provides wonderful insight as to how you can create the most compelling content with whatever tools you have around you. No fancy or expensive equipment required. The first 1,000 people to use this link will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so you can explore your creativity. So if you're looking to enhance your creativity, make sure you take advantage of this free trial deal. All right, and here we have a look at the bare bones user interface. It has a very Pandora's box feel to it, although there are no video scrubbed clips or anything like that. It's just static images. And let me go to the top and hit to the back page. So you can see there's 3,187 preloaded games on this machine. However, I will tell you right now, of those 3,187, there's a lot of duplicates and a lot of games that are poorly named, translated poorly, and just very hard to find. So even some of your favorite games, you won't be able to track down without some super sleuthing, because there's just some really garbage details overall. Let's go ahead and see the various systems that are supported. So we got CPS, Final Burn Alpha, Famicom, aka Nintendo Entertainment System if you're in the United States and you had no idea what the FC was, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Game Gear, Mega Drive, aka Sega Genesis, Neo Geo, PlayStation, and on this secondary page, hidden by its lonesome, Super Nintendo. So those are our systems we have. We do have some save states so we can save our games. We've got our favorites list. You can scan, so if you don't want to manually scroll through that 3,000 game listing, you want to search to find Mario, this is how you do it. You just type in the letters and search Mario. However, due to the complexity and the issues of the games being poorly named, it's going to be a mixed bag whether or not you can actually find the game you're looking for, because chances are it's not named properly on here. And that is really the biggest issue with this system. It's the user interface. It's just really poorly put together. Go to the file systems, really doesn't allow you to change much of anything. You can go down to settings, but it's not going to help you out any. And then you go over to the actual settings, so you can change the language. You can come down here, you can change the screen orientation. So if you want the equal proportions, aka 4:3 for 90% of these games, or stretch 16:9 look, you can change and toggle that here. You can clear your memory for your favorites. You can restore it if for whatever reason you messed up the system, although looking at it, it's already kind of messed up in its own right. And you can see what kind of firmware version it is on. And that is it. It's very basic, very bare bones user interface and experience. And after you start up a game, anytime you want to back out, you're just going to hit the return on the joystick, and it's actually going to show you the RetroArch menu. And now RetroArch is pretty awesome. However, this is very toned down and you don't really get access to the full RetroArch menu. Therefore, you don't really get to tweak and mess with a whole lot of settings. You can really just change and configure the input and quit the game. That's really all you can do in this bare bones setup for RetroArch. Search through the games individually. Going down here, you can hit left and right on the joystick to go through pages, or you can go through the system type, find the games according to whatever system you want to play. It's really just a mixed bag of games overall. The majority of these games though are arcade games, so we can go over here and we can see that there's 831 just CPS titles alone. So since this is an arcade stick, you are ideally going to be one of playing more arcade games than anything, but of course then there's also tons of console games. So 703 Nintendo games, so that's quite a bit, but you'll see goofy things like here. So we got the first 3 Super Mario Brothers, and bam, Super Mario Brothers 14. So this is obviously some kind of homebrew hack game, but makes you really wonder what happened between Super Mario Brothers 4 and 13. But that kind of gives you an example of just kind of the squirreliness that is within a lot of these games. There are a lot of great games on here, and there's a lot of garbage filler titles that just make absolutely no sense, and it's hard to even distinguish what those are given the really screwy name structure of these games overall. So that is it in a nutshell. Let's go ahead and check out how they perform with an emulation test.
Gundam Hammer! Thank you. Heavy machine gun.
So at the end of the day, this little arcade stick is a bit of a head scratcher. While the value of $60 for an all-in-one arcade stick that doubles as an emulation console is pretty great, especially with 3,000 built-in games, it's the user interface that negates a lot of that added value, specifically the fact that you can't find the games you're looking to play. It does perform and emulate them exceptionally well once you do find the game. However, it's just that poorly structured user interface. It really has no frills, no thrills. It's hard to navigate, it's hard to find the game you want, not only just due to the clunky user interface, but it's the game titles that are mismatched, poorly listed, poorly translated, the box art that doesn't necessarily match the game listing even if it is poorly translated. Just examples like that make this really, just really make you scratch your head and go, what is going on? So could this be a great little option for you? Absolutely. Is it? Only you can answer that question, but if you're interested in something like this, I'll put a product link down in the video description box below. Hope you enjoyed the content, hope you found information helpful. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and share this video with your friends. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. It really means a lot.